Hey everybody, welcome back to Travel Trailer Nation. Today I wanted to talk to campground rules. Are campgrounds like a mini neighborhood? Yeah, they really are like a mini neighborhood. In fact, they are like a mini HOA. Unless it's a huge campground, then it's like a regular HOA. Some of the rules are just common sense, like keeping your dogs on leash. And I know if you look at one of my other videos where I said, kind of pissed off. Well, that was because the people that were across the street from us in the campground, right across the road, didn't seem to feel that the rules applied to them, and they left their dogs off leash all the time. And that is almost a standard rule everywhere. In fact, many campgrounds, if you read the rules carefully, you'll see that they don't allow you to put up a little fence around your trailer either, that they have to be with you or on a leash or outside the trailer with you tied out and always in your control. And this is something that tends to get violated a lot at campgrounds. Now, when I say they're like a mini HOA, that puts a little onus on you as a camper to make sure that you're following the rules. And I would encourage you to really read in advance, if you can, the rules of the campground you're going to, because you don't want to have an ugly surprise when you get there. The Pueblo South KOA is a KOA we stopped at on our 2018 trip, and you can read about that entire trip on our blog at TravelTrailerNation.com. It's a multi-blog post episode where we kind of stepped through every campground that we went to and everything that happened to us along the way up to my son's wedding in 2018 and on the way back. Well, the Pueblo South Colorado KOA was a very interesting experience. And when I say it's a mini HOA, and I talk about the rules, the one thing that really stuck out to me at this KOA was that the rules were on the verge of nasty. And it may have been their way of being kind of tongue-in-cheek funny, but when we read through them, I didn't really find them very entertaining. And in fact, I probably would have hesitated to stay there had I read those in advance. They were just, they had just an edge of nastiness to them. Like, you better be out by 11 or we're just going to charge you more. And then this whole thing about, if you come in at, an hour early, we're going to charge you $30 more. I don't like that. I don't think that's necessary if the site's empty. What difference does it make if someone comes in an hour early? I just have an issue with it. I realize you want to get people in and you want to have time to go through the campsites, but $30 just seemed really excessive. Beyond that, though, they seem to have a longer list of rules than any other KOA I was at. And in addition, now I just went through and did a little review online of some of the rules they have, because obviously I couldn't find their flyer there to go through and see if it was exactly the same now, 6 years later. But what I did notice now is that and they misspelled it too. Shepherds are not allowed now, and Dobermans aren't, and pit bulls. So obviously that wouldn't be a campground we'd stay at, because Eva's a sable shepherd, and she is a very lovable dog, the most affectionate shepherd we've ever had, and she loves people, but she's not keen on other dogs. And partially due to a neighbor who likes to let his dogs charge the fence, and they have ever since he moved in after we'd been here for, let's say, 7 years. So, outward appearance, if you see her tied out and you're walking a small dog by, she's gonna probably growl, she may bark, but she is not an aggressive dog. But this is the way it is, and that's why I say you need to read your rules on the campgrounds you're going to go to, so when you mark things out and map things out on your trip, make sure you double check to make sure that if you have a shepherd, or you have a pit bull, or you have a Doberman that travels with you, or any other breed that they think is unacceptable, that you nail that down before your trip so that you don't have an ugly surprise when you get there. Now, when I said the onus is on you as a camper, that means the onus is on you to obey the rules there. Picking up after your dog, making sure it's on a leash, making sure that you observe the quiet times, making sure you're not parked where they don't want you to park, making sure that you don't hang clothes out when they say that they don't want clotheslines out there. You're not dumping your gray water on the ground. Believe it or not, some people have done that. That you're abiding by every single rule they have, because it is like an HOA. They enforce those rules, and don't be surprised if you're violating them if they come and ask you to leave. It's a possibility. It's never happened to us. I've left a couple campgrounds because I was really unhappy with what I saw happening, but I've never been asked to leave a campground. But who knows? It's a new year. I think we're good. You know, I'm a stickler on the rules, and I think everybody should be. Just like you don't want to see your neighbor come walking through your backyard when you're out having coffee at your patio in the morning, you shouldn't be walking through your neighbor's turf either. You shouldn't be letting your kids play in your neighboring camper's yard. I mean, these are just kind of common sense things, but it's things that people sometimes just let slip. You know, they say, nah, it's okay, they're just kids. Well, but you know what? Everybody's definition of having a good time is a little bit different. Maybe it's someone's definition of a good time to make sure that the kids aren't around, you know, 24/7. But that may not be the neighbor's definition of good if those kids are over on his property. So anyway, I'm probably preaching to the choir, but anyway, I just want everyone, especially people that are new and getting into it, to realize, you know, you're not going to get into a campground where there aren't any rules and you can do whatever you want. Every campground is going to have rules. Some are going to be a little bit looser than others, but all will have rules. And so you should do your best to make sure that you abide by those rules so that everybody, including you, has a great camping experience. So until next time, happy camping.